Hello, and welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn. I am Al the Geek, and I'm here with my friend Captain Xavier. What do? We do a live show where we talk about stuff. What kind of stuff? I don't know, whatever two old grumpy men that play with toys talk about, man. Stuff. Anyways, welcome to the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. Many of you have probably been here before. Those that haven't, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're checking us out, and I hope you stick around. In the meantime, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please hit the like button. Feel free to comment and chat. We always love to see what you're thinking and what you're doing. And again, the more people subscribe, the better we grow this channel. Again, we are a nonprofit, and I guess there's many facets of that because we make no money anyways. So yeah, we do this for free. So the more subscribers we get, we can actually get monetized and actually use money to put it into swag and other things that we can therefore do more for the community. Also, worldfoamalliance.org. I know the website hasn't changed much, but if you haven't, go over to worldfoamalliance.org. Please register. We are still building the list. When we are building a list, as we introduce features and different things that can make stuff happen, we know where you are. Other people will know where you are. Then we can connect you. That is the whole purpose of it. Yes, I know. I wish it was done yesterday too. But again, remember back that whole nonprofit thing, the whole thing about not having money. Yeah, we're working on it, but it will happen. The dream is alive, and don't worry about it. In other news, it is like the end of the year almost. Thanksgiving is next weekend in the U.S. I hope you guys all have Thanksgiving plans. I am actually sticking local. We still do have a show next Wednesday, even though it's the busiest travel day, unless Andrew, aka Dart Sweet, realizes what day it is and changes his mind, decides not to do it. But yeah, next Wednesday we will have the Foam Zone, and then it'll be Thanksgiving, and then we will only have one more show for the year. It'll be in December. It'll be the Wednesday after. It will be Get Off My Lawn. We'll just do a quick roundup of where we were, what we've done, and things we have planned for the new year. If you haven't noticed already, Foam's Giving has been pushed. We would have loved to have done it, but for many reasons, in terms of scheduling, in terms of I know there's a lot of volunteers out there that would have helped us. That was never a problem and never an issue. That was always great, and we actually really appreciate everything that everyone does and offers. It's more so from our end, our core group, of having the time to therefore actually do it appropriately and be able to run it the way we want to run it. So even though Foam's Giving is not technically canceled, however, being pushed because we still like doing a charity stream where we're going to do stuff like that. There will be something in the new year as it comes together. However, in the meantime, since we have accrued some stuff to give away, which has been great for Foam's Giving, and there's some stuff, you know what, that we'd still love to give away. So if you don't know about it, there's also another drive. The other drive is Corbin's charity drive. It's the come on, someone post a link or correct me because you know I'm nuts. Containment Crew is actually one of the biggest driving factors behind it. Silver Fox Industry donates to it out of darts as well. We will be assisting in that charity drive. Exactly how? Funny you should ask. Tomorrow there'll be a meeting. I will be part of that meeting. We'll see what we can do it. We may attach a live stream to it. We may not, but there will still be an assortment of things like they always have to give away, and then even more stuff. For example, I have a pair of seagulls. I have a pair of seagulls that were donated by Containment Crew. One was supposed to be for Foam's Giving, one for their charity drive. However, since Foam's Giving is not happening, both are going to that drive. And guess what? I painted them up. And you know what? These are fun to paint. And so you know what? They're both yellow. One is going to be a standard yellow. The other one is still yellow, but is going to have all the funky, cool features on it from a scope, improved stock, and then also a faux suppressor and a red dot. Why? Because I don't know if you need all those things. I don't care, but it looks cool, and you know I do it, so that's what's going to happen, and we're going to do that as well. Also, I still have things that I said I'd give away, and as soon as we settle that out tomorrow, there will be stuff that I will be putting in that auction as well. So their auction, because we're not in charge of it, we're just helping. It is happening. Their charity drive is happening. It is happening because we're not running it. They are running it, so we're assisting, and that's why it's going to happen. Because we have the time to assist. We just don't have the time or resources to put a functional one like we did last year and make it happen. Other than that, what else do we got? I don't know. There's probably more stuff, but I will mention it as it comes to me. Oh, if y'all haven't noticed, y'all see my shirt? It is Maryland Mayhem the 3rd. Again, we do have an official date. If you haven't seen the update, it is May 9th. Yes, I know it's Mother's Day weekend. But again, when you're trying to organize and put a lot of parts and pieces together, you don't always get the best of it. This year, I blame Easter. If Easter was in a different month or a different time, it would have been easier. So right now, it's It is during Mother's Day. I will be going. As you can tell, I'm a big proponent of it. We haven't even talked about sponsorships yet. Here I am doing this already. Yeah, Maryland Mayhem next year, 2025. I did ask them before I made the shirt, so no one go saying, "Hey man, did you rip the shirt off?" No, they know I made it, and they like when I make it, and because I'm promoting it. And yeah, you should go. And now, wait, because we're in November, that gives them what, 6 months? You got 6 months to plan for it. 6 months. Six. Not 6 days, not 6 weeks, 6 months. Figure it out. All right? Figure it out. You know you want to go. You know you want to go. You don't have to apologize to me if you can't go. Just apologize to yourself because then after you see all the footage after, you're like, damn it. There'll probably be another one next year after, but still, you can make it, make it. It's always a good show. I will be there. Captain Xavier will be there. Many people will actually be there, so it's going to be a great time. But yeah, I told them they should like make and sell these shirts so people can buy them. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Either way, this is mine. This is mine. And yeah, there we go. Read the shirt. All right. With that said, also, we do have a guest tonight. Our guest tonight, you may know him. He is a rogue Canadian that lives way out in the Maritime provinces. He is one Anthony, also known as Maritime Foam. He is also part of the World Foam Alliance. So part of how that happened was because of the crazy rains and the bomb cyclone that happened out in Washington State. We weren't this morning sure of who was available, who was not, and who was affected by the storm. Captain Xavier was not. He still has power on internet, but in the meantime, we had planned as a replacement, just in case he couldn't, to have Anthony in. Well, Captain's fine. He's here. He'll be on just in a second. And so as a result of it, since Anthony was already like, well, I'll be there anyways, he's joining us tonight too. So there will be the three of us. It will be the reunion of the Bearded MacGuffins. If you don't know what that is, go back and search your socials. I'll just tell you. It was when the two of us had gone out to Cap's place, and there was one picture where we looked like an album cover. So, of course, we came up with the name, or the Bearded MacGuffins. And in that, the other member of the Bearded MacGuffins is one Captain Xavier. Dude, what's happening, man? What are you doing, brother?
Does anybody have any idea where this goes? I'm good. I am building a blaster for Al. It is part of my end of the year build. I ran it this weekend, discovered a few flaws, burnt out one of the flywheel motors. So I'm putting it back together. I'll need to order new motors, and I'm rewiring it. I originally had it wired with a MOSFET, and while that kind of worked, it didn't allow for a very important feature, which is what resulted in the motor burning out. But once I got that fixed, it'll be done. Out of Darts is already after me to potentially sell the thing that I've put together. We will see.
Ah, nice.
We will see. I haven't decided. Anyway, I also recently I got another package from the Moose. That has arrived, and so I get to build that, and that should be fun. Also, some stuff to review. I'm behind on reviews. I actually wanted to build something, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'll go back to work.
I think you should definitely sell those, man. It's a great way for people to inadvertently donate money to the Send Captain Xavier to events all over the country next year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I were to build this and sell it, if I sold the kit rights to Out of Darts, people could make them themselves. If I don't, then I can build them and sell them to people and actually make money and be able to go to events and get to see them in action. Hopefully not failing and getting people tagged, because that would be embarrassing.
User error.
Yeah. Clearly, user error. I never had a problem with it. Had a fun event this weekend. There's a fellow up in Everett who has been hosting events, trying to host bigger and bigger events. He started out with one that was like 4 people, and then we went to one that had like 10 people, and then this one had about 80 to 100 people. So there was a bit of an escalation. It was indoors. It was in part of a mall, the sectional mall that had been closed off for whatever reason. So we had 2 sections of the corridor, had a whole bunch of pop-up tents set up. Some of the old stores were empty, but were open, so we could use them for our staging areas. And we ran some fun games. There were a lot of kids who'd never been to an Nerf war before there. There were a lot of the veterans from our big games were there. So there was a huge spread of people who had no idea what they were doing all the way to veterans. And it was wild. We committed one distinct act of unsportsmanlike conduct. Kind of. We brought 3 proton packs and we made sure they were all on the same team.
Oops.
But then they either ran out of ammo or broke. So it ended up working out in the end. A lot of fun was had. Some of the games, I don't even know who actually won which round. There was a mechanic for victory, but I don't think anyone was actually counting. Too much fun was being had. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what he does in the future because he actually charges for events so he can get nice venues, which is something we didn't have before. It's if you want a nice venue, you have to charge. It's the only way to do it. And so It's nice to know. Oh yeah, no, plenty of people are willing to pay to be able to attend an indoor event at a nice location. And if we can find a better location, then we can do an even better event. Venue is always the hardest thing. Finding a place that'll let you play. So we're going to keep looking. It's always, you can always look for, a Kmart that shut down or a grocery store that shut down and it's just a big empty building. Worst they can say is no, but if you can ask, hey, can we rent this for a day? We'll clean up after ourselves. Maybe they'll let you. And if it's empty now, it's nothing but free money for them, basically. So who knows how much they'll charge? It's worth asking.
They'll let Spirit Halloween do it. Why can't we?
Yeah, so that's what we're looking into. It was good. There were growing pains. There were some issues because, again, we had people who weren't used to how it worked, and there were a lot of young kids who hadn't been to our events and weren't really familiar with the concept of it. It's not yours. Don't touch it. Yes, I know. It's really cool. No, you can't use it. But as far as I know, nothing wandered off and nothing got broken and no one got hurt. So it was a good event. I ran the gizmo that I'm fixing here today. It was one of the proton packs that I ran. And I jammed it in several different ways. So I've got some things to tinker with and try to fix. It's definitely not currently ready for production.
The growing pains. I tell you, I am looking forward to painting that thing up, and I'm already trying to picture in my head something stupid or ridiculous I can do to it, but I don't know yet. But I am not going to be reserved on this where it's like I shouldn't do that. If it's stupid and functional, I'm going to do it.
It'll be good.
I think so. I was going to say with your mall event, what I like, because again, when I was up there visiting Captain Xavier in the Pacific Northwest a few weeks ago, I met the organizer for the mall event. He is a super nice man. I liked him very much. Very nice, very positive, very upbeat. But he's another great example of if you're going to try to host an event, your first day, it's probably not going to be that good. And it's just like Cap said, he had 4, then he had 10, and now suddenly he has over 100. Now, some people's curves are slower, some people's curves are faster. The point is, you got to put the work in, and you just got to be determined, and it will happen. It will happen. You see it every day. More people that come out to events, more people that come out all kinds of things. You just got to put the work in and stay strong and have fun and be genuine, and it'll happen, man. It will happen, which is just fantastic. And dude, a mall, like, what was he charging per person?
$12 if you bought it ahead of time, $15 at the door.
That is still awesome.
Oh, you got pizza.
Oh,
it came with
come
food.
on.
You got pizza.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's come on. Like, in the chat, let me know. Do you guys think for $12 or $15 for an event? Now, how long did it last?
7 hours.
So then, here's the challenge. If someone in the chat can list me an event or something they do for 7 hours that only costs them $12 and they still enjoy doing, I'd love to hear it. Here's a great example.
Get food. Comes with food.
And you get food. And you get food. Now someone complained to me that you got to spend $12. Are you kidding me, man? Yeah, you know what? Here, all right, now I'm going to gripe. Are we ready? Here's a soapbox. You're going to complain about an event, whether it be a Nerf event, 12 to 20 bucks. All right. And you say, well, what do we got to pay for it? It's free. Heaven forbid I see you buying a Netflix movie for over $20 or standing in line at a movie theater where how much are movie theaters now to go see something? Is it over 20 bucks and you're only getting 2 hours? So let's just put something in perspective. It's not that Nerf events should be free. Think about sometimes what you spend on for entertainment purposes. And when you make the comparison, it's a no brainer. And if you still think it's too much, feel free to try to organize, contact these events, set it all up, get everything in place and organize it and not get paid anything for it. And you pay for it out of your pocket and then come back to me and tell me how you feel about that. I'm just saying.
You're just saying, preach, brother. Amen. Testify.
It is. Stuff. You want exactly. You want a good event. You want these good places. It costs money. It is what it is, man. But the thing is, everyone that does them, everyone realizes no one's gonna be a millionaire about it. They enjoy doing it and it's fun. They just hope for them, ultimate success is breaking even. Breaking even is like, whoo, I have scored, I have won.
Yeah. Now, if I had a venue that could host events quite like that, the reason I can't is I don't yet have functional public bathrooms, and I don't have an indoor location is the big thing. If I had a regular indoor location large enough to host a 100-person event, yeah, I'd be hosting them a lot, and I would not, depending on my overhead, I would be charging as little as possible. But I don't have an indoor venue that large. That would be prohibitively expensive. It might be something if I had become YouTube rich and famous and had been able to buy my own warehouse, build my own warehouse, I would have. There might actually be something, either a half hour north or a half hour south. There's probably an empty warehouse, a dead Kmart or something that, it could. I don't know what they would charge for something like that. It would be a lot, but yeah, good stuff. Now we really need to get around to getting in a 501c3 setup up here and start organizing our own equivalent of Mall Madness, where we are so far out of excuses. What with having all the big people up here, half the people that sponsor Mall Madness are from the Pacific Northwest, and we don't even have our own event. It's mostly because we're like, I don't want to run it. I'll pay someone else to run one on the other side of the country, so I don't have to deal with it. All right,
and the other thing is, you all know how to organize it and run events too. That's the thing. So I do love the fact that you guys are running out of excuses. I get
we are
that too.
so out of excuses. We've got nothing.
But that's
we ain't got a leg to stand on.
That's how every time I visit, man, I lean on all y'all heavy enough, but not too annoying enough. It's just more to like inspire you, because then it's kind of like, finally, we can go to a major event where it's not logistically figuring out what can we fly and or who's carpooling.
You would think, but work it's work, man. Who?
Well, then again, so what was
for that?
I know. Well, what's the name of what's his name? The guy that did the Everett Mall, the mall one. The organizer.
I have no idea.
We do. It's just I know I have friends on this. I can't remember his name. Joe, man, what's shaking? All right, Xbox has got power. He is back. See, he's in. Joe, man, because Captain has forgotten. What's the name of the guy that ran and organized the mall event you guys did up in Everett? And the reason I'm asking that is, for example, he's put together this mall event, which means the man can organize and figure it out. So maybe he's going to be your spark or your glue that will bring you all together to host larger events. Yeah, his name is Tom. That's right. And on Insta, I can't remember what his Insta is too, but go follow him. Is it Mystical Mind? I follow him too. Yeah, don't get old. You forget stuff.
Something about the mind.
Yes, that's it.
Mind.
And he might be the glue or might be the spark that gets you guys united to do a big event, man.
The catalyst that sets the fire under our butts.
It is, and I do like the fact that you're right because there is available space for the Pacific Northwest. Instead of trying to find that large outdoor space, is finding a large indoor space, and then depending on the space, doing something where it doesn't have to be the same mold as everyone else, but your own thing as your own stamp of this is what we're doing. That's still, yeah, there it is. Thanks, Joe. Planet Mind, yes. And go follow him on Instagram. This is the man we're talking about. He's great people. He's a super nice guy. He's organized and he deserves some support. Never mind if you're actually from the Pacific Northwest and you do not know who he is, go follow him now because clearly you missed out on a mall event. And I'm sure since the success of this one that there will be more. So yeah, definitely go find him and go follow him.
Yeah, he's already planning one for December. I don't know if the date's been set. There was talk, but I don't know that it's been confirmed, so I don't want to say anything.
No, that makes sense. Well, if he wants to do one that soon, then you know he's going to be pumping them out when he can, which means he's got a sweet. Is it an abandoned mall or is it just half empty?
It's a section of the mall that's been decommissioned. So the mall was still open and active. We could actually walk into the mall and like go to the food court if we wanted to, or go shopping.
Nice. That is, yeah. See that is awesome. So I guess then, if all right, let's assume Tom is the main organizer, and you know what? Since Joe just popped in, Joe's the number two man, and he gets roped into organizing. What would you do for a Pacific Northwest major event that would rival like Mayhem and Ragnar Oktoberfest?
If we're dreaming, if we can do whatever we want,
Yeah,
it would be an
why not?
event at it would be an event at Fort Worden or Fort Flagler. We would use one of the national park naval battery forts because they have barracks you can rent for housing. They've got bunkers and tunnels and big open fields. I mean, we could set up the competitive. We could set up the HVZ in the tunnels, and we could do so much cool stuff. The problem is it's a national park, and they don't want us running because if we're doing it in the summer, it's going to be tourist season, and we've run into issues. Other than that, it would be we would have to do a college campus, either WU or UW or WWU or even possibly Evergreen. They all have had and possibly do have HVZs and have done minor invitationals, but they've never done a large invitational. So, and they've got the campus, which is a great place to run events like that. Those would be the ones. The trick is going to be either that or something down in the Portland area because it's got to be near an airport is the big thing. People have to be able to get to it. That's the downside of the forts is they're way out on the peninsula, several hours from the nearest airport. And there is obviously no ferry to get there. So we'd want to try to be as close to SeaTac or to Portland, Vancouver as possible because there's airports there. But yeah, the hope was, the dream was that if we actually got set up as a 501c3, we then might be able to talk one of the forts into letting us have an event there. But it's not guaranteed. I mean, we won't know until we're actually, ever get that set up and are able to go and say, hey, here's an example of other events that do similar things. We can clean up after ourselves. It's not going to be dangerous to anybody. Could we make this happen? Maybe, maybe not.
So here's a question then. Also, kind of that's the big dream, lesser dream, but again, thinking out of the box. Where again, it's like we decided because we talked. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Cap and I have talked about this in the past before. Part of it is also because out of the Pacific Northwest, if it's outside, it's got to be during not the rainy season. Otherwise, yeah, pack a wetsuit because forget it. So then, let's say it works out that it is, let's say, and this is just hypothetical, it's a February event or a November event, and you actually are able to secure like a large indoor facility, whether it be like half a mall or a giant warehouse. Now, with that, what would you do inside it? Would you do the standard? Would you attempt like just like the standard operator with a tournament, this, that, or would you go something completely different just to be different?
We would probably do a tournament because we do have Waffle up here, the Washington Foam-Flinger League. But we do different games up here than most other ones do. We do different game types. So we'd probably do our standard game type just to introduce a new game type because more game types are better. We would probably do a standard style Nerf war, set up a bunch of cover in the warehouse or whatever we've got, and run your standard types of scenarios. A lot of Titan Ball. I would push for a lot of Titan Ball.
Go figure.
For HVZ, we could do an HVZ in there if we ran small scenarios in a warehouse. So rather than trying to do a day-long event, do a series of short missions like we do at Fort Borst, because we usually do some HVZ rounds at Fort Borst that have, okay, you need to get this MacGuffin to here and do this, and just do a series of those and run through a whole bunch of different HVZ scenarios, depending on how much space we have, because space is a big thing with HVZ. If you can't get away from the zombies, you're not going to last long.
No.
But if we can, depending on the space, depending on what kind of cover we can create, because it's going to depend on the space. Is there already stuff in it? Is it completely empty? Are we bringing in all of our own cover? What are we doing? That's going to make a huge difference. But
yeah,
venue. It all comes down to venue.
It does. And it's like, it's again, this also touches based upon what we've talked about in the past, is that obviously we both live in areas where we do have access to colleges and a lot of other things, but not other places do. And so sometimes it's having the ability to think out of the box. Doesn't have to be necessarily a university. It doesn't have to be like a big open field. It could be anything, as long as it's large and contained and you got terrain and you can make it happen. Dare to think big. We are definitely a creative niche hobby that we are, in terms of what people come up with, what people do, where it's like, wow, that is very, very cool, just from the different blasters, game types, MacGuffins. So you think of something weird and funny, man, don't be afraid to voice it, because it might be cooler than you think it is. Like, here's a random thing, and I don't know, I think it's because I was watching the Transporter yesterday. Can you imagine playing in like a large metro bus depot where it's like all the transit buses are lined up and all the doors are open and they're all lined up on different routes and then running in and out in between those all day?
Or a multi-layer parking garage.
Yep.
If you can find one that's, largely empty on the weekend.
Yep. Yeah, good luck with that.
Those usually have multiple stairwells and elevators and ramps and layers and malls. There are dead malls all over the country. It's just a matter of finding one that will let you use their space. Mall Madness has proved that is viable.
Yep.
I know they got charged a lot more than Tom did, but Tom was only renting a small section and wasn't renting it overnight, so
that makes sense. And otherwise, they have a abandoned section of the mall that no one uses, so it's like, you know what, let's try this out and see what happens.
Yeah, because it's, like I said, I mean, it's free money. The space is just sitting there otherwise.
Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. So we have CR Nerf, and he said, like, what he's done in his work, make friends with the laser tag arena owners.
Yep, laser tag. We do have paintball. Laser tag are typically indoors, so yeah. And I have seen places where it seemed fairly obvious that someone had converted an old laser tag arena into a Nerf arena. Because laser tag went out of fashion or died during the pandemic and somebody started something new there.
Absolutely. But then also, let me get back to the chat 1 second. So a couple of things. First of all, okay, so since we have Xbox in the chat, if you haven't seen already, and part of it is, I'm glad he made it. So again, for your for the Dart Zone Omnia, and now that we have 3 generations of it, Joe has actually created an insert for the tip of the Omnia, because you know how the Omnia, the barrel ends here, then you got that shroud over top of it, and really you can't put anything else in it because of the shroud. Well, Joe over at Xbox Game has created a shroud that you drop it in, and it's friction fit. Never mind, he has various barrel attachments that just screw into it. So one's an end strike attachment, one's a P-scar, and then another one is just a standard extension where then for you can actually put a Dart Zone scar into it, or actually like a full barrel to actually extend it and do whatever else you want with it, which I think is great, and it really changes the look of the Omnia. And don't get into barrel drag and all that. Yeah, I get it. The point is, it's not like a huge thing. It's a little thing on the end of it where you can really change and mess with it. In fact, there we go. If you have barrel drag, suddenly you put that on the end of it, and now it's about 130 or less, which makes it HVZ compatible. Never mind the cool and fun things you do it. And yeah, I may have pushed him for it, and he made it, but that's awesome. So yeah, Xbox is making us up. Dude, Joe, drop a link, man. Can you drop a link in chat? Yeah, drop a link in chat so people can go find it and see it. It's if you haven't on yet, you can dress up the end of it. Um, I'm printing out pieces now. I haven't put one together yet, but then there's always a fear because we have been stopped before for it. I can find one in a bit. Yeah, I'll find one in a bit. But it is very cool. So yeah, go check that out. Xbox games. Everything Joe makes. It's always great stuff over there. So if you haven't, go check that out as well. Back up to there you go, Andy from Australia. He would walk to Mall Madness from Australia. That just tells you how awesome something like that would be. So if any of y'all have the gumption near an airport and near an abandoned mall and can swing a deal, make it happen. You know that most of us will actually come out to it, which will be great. Also, to touch upon what Dustin Bergen has said, and I think that'd be great. The thought of a Mad Max Mandalorian themed Nerf event. Yes, and you know what? I'm basing that one on. So there is a desert event out in California, and no, it's not Burning Man. It's actually called Wasteland Weekend. If you Google it, it is a whole weekend based on Mad Max stuff where people dress up, cars, costumes, and they have various areas. It's all camping. It's out in the desert. But depending on what you're camping or staying in, if your campsite or your gear, like your camper or whatever, looks like it's out of Mad Max, you get to stay in the town proper. And I can't remember the name of it, that you're actually part of it. But if you got regular stuff, you can still go to the event. You just stay in a different part, and then you walk over to where everything's happening. So something like that would be so very cool. Whereas if it would be like again, like a Mad Max or it'd like taking what happened in Maryland here. The last event of the year for Maryland Nerf herders every year is the Battle of Endor, which is in the forest, and people dress up for it. So it's kind of the same idea to have an event like that where you camp. For example, out in Toronto, in Canada, the A team Blue has a piece of property where they can camp over at, and it wouldn't be like a large scale event, but he's in the forest where you could do something like that, where bring a tent, bring your gear, camp out, and away we go. So these things are actually much more possible. It's just looking around you and see what's available, and then you start from there. Whether it be, let's go to CR Nerf out in Iowa, man. People got tracts of land all over the place. Borrow someone's backfield they're not planning, and just have everyone show up with cars and pitch a tent, man, and away you go for the weekend. So it could be things like that as well, which is again inexpensive. Where I live, I'm in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. Renting anything is stupidly expensive. However, you never know what you'll find, so always just keep your eyes out. And sometimes you find the right people that like what you're doing or like your event, and suddenly they are very willing to suddenly donate stuff for much more affordability. Don't be afraid to ask. It can happen. You got anything to say on that while I cruise the chat to see what else I'm missing?
No, I'm in the middle of rewiring your blaster, so I'm slightly preoccupied. Is this going to close?
That makes sense. Well, yeah, it's like what Michael Joseph and Nimrod said. It's like a LARP idea. Exactly, same idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because that's how events like Afterworlds exist as well.
Yep.
It's all right. Will this close?
And me at a Mad Max event? If only I had shoulder pads and things that would only fit into a Mad Max
event. If only you could fit the general aesthetic. You're gonna need to work on that out.
I will see what I can do. No promises, but I can see what I can do about it. Oh, do you want to tell, before we get Mr. Maritime Foam in here, do you want to tell people about what you're building from Misguided Moose Mods, or would you plan to?
It's a Moose 2.0.
Moose 2.0. Yeah. But I love the fact that he had the option of getting a finished one or a building one, and of course the man loves to build something. So as a result...
It's a whole lot cheaper if you don't make him put it together.
There's that too, which makes a lot of sense because time is money, man, and it costs money. But I think so. Yeah. You're gonna film it too, right?
Oh yeah. I
So
film
is this
everything.
going to be like
Whether I actually upload everything is a different matter, but I've filmed just about everything.
so this will be on like an inadvertent how to build a guide, or more like a commentary? I guess it depends how you feel when you're putting it together.
Yeah, there is apparently a decent how to build it guide out there that I will probably end up having to use. So I
Probably.
don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel, but there will be some talk. And obviously, I'll take it to the range and compare it to the Moose 1, and shenanigans will be had. Fun will be had.
A lot of moosing. And the moose is, again, also, if you don't know, Eric the Moose in his shop, the Misplaced Moose, or his Shopify account, go to it. He is having a Black Friday sale, 15% off of everything in his store. So, again, kits, parts, pieces, finished blasters, man. If you've been looking for it, now's a good time. Go check it out. You can save some money on it. Actually, a lot of people are having sales too, which, again, it must be Black Friday or something.
It's weird, like that time of year.
It is. It is. Also, I might as well advertise it. So we got CR Nerf. We got Bill in here as well. So Bill is actually going to be doing something on Friday where Bill will be. I'd read the details, but it's on my phone, and my phone is not what I'm using to stream on it. But I will be sharing the post about it. Basically, he will be giving away a modified Nerf Percy's. It is a contest. What is a contest? Bill, feel free to correct me. You know I'm old and dumb at times. But I will be sharing full details about it on Friday, so look out for that. I'll put it on Al the Geek page as a result. I'll make Captain Xavier put on his as well. But it will be a giveaway that Bill is doing, that CR Nerf, so it's going to be fun, which is always nice to do stuff like that and this. Oh, another event's happening for the Maryland guys. So of the three groups that make the Maryland Foam Alliance, Maryland Nerf Herders has had their final event of the season just because of weather. Southern Maryland House of Nerf is having their last event, and they do it every year on, it'll be the Saturday of Thanksgiving the weekend. It is called Nerf's Giving, and it is a free event because they made enough money in the year, and it's at their play field again. And again, it's for like Thanksgiving. I went last year. It's a lot of fun. If you are in the Maryland area or will be anywhere near that, or feel like driving it, maybe your family's drove you nuts and you got to go shoot people with dart blasters and stuff like that, come out and find us, man. It is going to be the Southern Maryland House of Nerf, MarylandFoamLines.org. You can go there. You can get tickets. It is free, but remember, you got to sign a waiver, and it's happening all day. Details to be there. I will be there as well, as usual, and it's always a fun event. And it's a great way of working off, turkey, Thanksgiving, mashed potatoes, and everything else that you ate way too much of. Yeah, let's do that. And actually, that was the event 2 years ago where, who was it? Was it? I think, yeah, both Andrew and Boomstick Mods made memes of it as me running for the center bucket to hit the button, and then I wiped out wickedly because I forget how old I am and I should be careful of how I run. Oh, yeah. Also, we have Danny Pack in the house, thirsty for foam, man. It was his birthday recently. Happy birthday, brother. Thanks for joining us, and happy birthday. If Captain Xavier wasn't rewiring a abomination over there, I'd have him sing happy birthday to you, but he's busy right now, so.
No, I'm done. I'm still not going to sing, but I'm done.
Well, at least
now I need a new motor because I burned out at least one of your flywheel motors and probably damaged the other. So I need to get new motors and possibly a slower pusher motor. We will see.
There we go.
We'll see.
And
but the wiring is correct now. So now it actually has motor braking on the, or not motor braking. What it didn't have an electric lock on the pusher. So if you pulled the trigger for the pusher motor, it would spin and it would push around into the flywheels, which would then jam because the flywheels weren't spinning. Now the pusher motor can't go unless the flywheels are spinning. So we're good.
All right, keep talking. We got to get Maritime Foam in here. No, we got to send them the link for the Teams app. Yeah. It's been a while. So, by the way, our guest is Anthony Maritime Foam. It's just been a while, so he's forgetting how to get in here. So we're showing him the keys to the back door. Otherwise, maybe we should just make him crawl through the basement window. That way he'll learn his lesson.
Yeah, nerd.
No, that's right. Oh, there we go. So yeah, CR Nerf has Kern County Foam Flingers. Great guy, big lore, great guy. All right, there we go. Even Joe has approved. He is the one that's actually assisting on CR Nerf's giveaway. That's right. Thank you. Ugly sweater contest to win a modded Percy's. Yes, that is what Bill is doing. It is an ugly sweater contest with and then you're getting a modified Percy. Details to be coming out, launched this Friday. Be creative, be fun, man. You can win a modified Percy's. Let's face it, the modified Percy's will always and forever be very useful and effective.
I picked up a Percy's at a Goodwill this weekend for $8.
Did you really?
Well, it didn't have the battery, which is probably why it was so cheap. But if I'm going to use it, I'm going to rewire it for lipo, so I don't care about the battery. It did have the hopper. The hopper wasn't in it when I first saw it, but I spotted the hopper under the shelves.
Nice. That means some kid pulled it out and away we go.
Yeah, or it wasn't in when they donated it and the people just chucked it on the shelf. But either way, right. Yeah. It was all there. All right.
All right.
That's all buttoned up. All I need are a fresh pair of Krakens, which, I probably have a fresh pair of Krakens around here somewhere. But I want to order a slower pusher motor anyway, so I'll place an order with Ood.
There you go.
Get some Ood stuff up in here.
By the way, Captain Shotgun, yes, Foam Mando was looking for you for some reason. So, and I'm sure it wasn't for blood. Go ahead and find him. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, also remember the foam. Yeah, the Bearded MacGuffins. We have one Anthony Stewart, also known as Maritime Foam. Anthony, man, what's shaking, brother? And he's muted.
I didn't want to hear him anyway.
That's right. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Maritime Foam. Thanks for coming out. All right, back to what we're talking about.
Have a nice day. So, Canadians, am I right?
It might be him. He's got his mic plugged in.
He's just being very politely quiet.
He is. He'll figure it out. I'm not worried. What I love, though, as you can see in his back, though, for those that don't know, Anthony has a new place and he has a new shop, and we can actually see it in the background. So that is pretty awesome and pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to definitely make him give us a tour of his new shop as well.
Oh, he's running away. He's retreating. He's giving up. I don't blame him.
We are very mean people, the two of us. It's amazing anyone puts up with us.
Winner.
Check.
There we go. We have him.
Oh my goodness. Audio issues for days. Speaker.
No, now you're good. Now you're in. Anthony, what's shaking? Hey. How are you, man?
You can hear me. I can hear you. I was playing Mario Kart until like 5 minutes ago, so I just got things set up. All right.
That is a good thing to do.
I'm gonna put my camera behind my laptop so when I'm looking at the chat, I can pretend I'm looking at you guys. Here we are. Perfect.
Did we just lose Captain?
No, I'm fine. I'm just being annoying.
There we go.
There. That's a relief. I'm here just in time for the end. Excellent.
Not even close, man. We can go all night.
I gotta go.
We won't make that last. That's right. Actually, first thing, Anthony. So for those that don't know, it is Maritime Foam, Anthony, and you do have some new digs. So why don't we start off with, you want to give us a quick tour of the new digs, and then you can tell people what you want about the new digs or nothing at all. That's up to you.
No, I love talking about things. So this is, I have a very patient partner who released the garage of ever having to hold a vehicle. So now it just has all of this in it. So yeah, I'm building some little blaster rolly things. I have my 3D printers behind there. They're actually working away. I don't know if you can hear them. They might be making annoying sounds. And then I have a couple workbenches. I have a fridge for beverages of all kinds for adults and more. And I have a laser cutter machine that somebody sent me for some reason, and I said yes, because I say yes to anything cool.
I have got to get me one of those. Nobody sends me.
It's pretty fun. When I see you guys in person, I will have some mega XXL coasters for you, so you can have classy beverages with people. So I did a few test ones. They look good. So yeah, I'm just enjoying. So it's funny. I set up all this space, which would be a great space to like run a little business of, and I've shut down my Etsy for a while, and I'm gonna stop doing parties, and because I just found I wasn't doing enough fun stuff for me, so I shut it all down, and I'm just gonna make some fun stuff because you can just get lost in like. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, I have 3 jobs. That's no fun. Why am I doing this? I'm old and tired. So yeah. So I haven't actually had to do that yet because a lot of my time's been setting stuff up here, and I'm still trying to pare down my blasters because I still have 2 storage lockers, and I'm not independently wealthy. I don't have that YouTuber money, so I got to pare things down. But I'm liking where things are going though. I love having this space. Like it's nice to even stream and be able to move around. I've always been like kind of tucked in with a camera kind of right there and not a lot of room. So I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
New space is always fun.
Yeah. It's really good. You realize when you move how much stuff you carry around, like, and I don't know why we can't get rid of it, but just the fact that I spent money on it 15 years ago, I have such a hard time throwing it away. And I wish someone would just kind of rob me selectively, like of just the things that I would never look at again. I need a selective thief to come and get me.
Captain Xavier did film 2 Canadians robbing out of darts. We can make arrangements.
Perfect.
I know some guys
I feel
who
like
have flexible scruples but follow instructions well.
Okay. I feel like you guys would steal the things I want to keep, though. It's tricky. It's tricky to find the right thieves.
So now you want some morally responsible thieves? I don't know if that works.
Yeah, no, I'm very particular about what kind of thieves I need.
Put out a Craigslist ad. It'll be fine.
That's right. What did I miss here on the stream while I was trying to be responsible? I was like, sorry, kid, Daddy's got to go live stream with some people about serious Nerf business. You'll put yourself to bed.
I am building a blaster for Al. Nice. I've rewired it, but now I need fresh motors because I took it and tested it this weekend and burned at least one of the motors out and probably damaged the others. So I'll buy a fresh pair of Krakens. I had it wired using a MOSFET. Unfortunately, that meant I couldn't have an electronic lock on the pusher. And so I accidentally at some point hit the pusher switch, which pushed around into the flywheels when they weren't spinning. And then when I went to spin them up, it smoked the motor. So that happened. But I've rewired it using a proper switch, so it won't do that now. It has proper lock on the pusher, but I still need new motors. I also managed to jam it because in a different way, where I had 2 balls get stuck in the barrel side by side and actually jammed in the barrel because the rate of fire was apparently too high. And so one round came in behind the previous round and jammed it. And so I am going to try just reducing the rate of fire and seeing if that solves that, because I can't make the barrel any bigger because of reasons.
Always fun.
You want to tell them what you're making, or are you keeping that as a surprise?
No. This is my end of the year build, so nobody gets to know.
Oh, secrets are fun. Secrets are absolutely fine.
Well, I'm going to tell
I'm
him it
hoping
is going to
we can
be
get it
a
done.
backpack-felled, ubiquitous Maverick.
Yes.
I like that.
That wouldn't be that hard. Put a Jupiter and a Maverick. Now
Go ahead,
I have to do that. Because I do have the Mayfly. It wouldn't be that difficult to modify a Mayfly build. Don't they take? No, they take the small wheels though. I could probably get somebody to make me a Mayfly flywheel cage that was the right size for Rival.
You think?
Oh. Someone would do it just to live in the same world as one. Dual stage trigger, maybe. Feed from the back of the slide. You could do it. It could be done.
I
want one now.
Somebody.
Plan.
Somebody.
Somebody. Don't lose the shield now.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a fun event. Good times. We were talking about paid events and how they're necessary if you want an indoor event. Their indoor events locations cost money. You got to charge for the event. That's just how it works.
Oh yeah.
And it has now been well and thoroughly established that people are willing to pay. It was a 7-hour event, so it wasn't a short event. And they had like 80 to 100 people. I don't know if they ever got a final head count. But the trick is the problem was the venue was a little too small for that many people.
Right.
With the way they ran it, you could have run it differently, reorganized it, and I think you could have then run 2 smaller events at the same time, and it would have maybe worked a little bit better. I was not involved in the planning. I paid to go to the event, so I didn't have to do any of the thinking.
Which is also nice.
Yes. We were a little unscrupulous. We did bring 3 proton packs, and we made sure they all ended up on the same team for the first round. And awesome. After that, they told us not to do that. And we're like, no, don't worry about it. 2 of them broke.
Yeah, I've never actually used my proton pack in any sort of battle because I just feel like I can't afford it.
Well, this was an event where you could easily get all your ammo back.
Yeah,
because it was indoors. So I came back with all the ammo I left with, and no more. I came back with exactly the ammo I left with. But I made sure I came back with all my ammo. I didn't come back with all of my half darts or all of my darts. Those I didn't care about. But I came back with all the Rival I went with.
Yeah.
But we very distinctly discovered that having 3 proton packs on a team is absolutely broken and shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. I've definitely
paid to go to this event, so
I've definitely been on teams. I think the first HVZ I ever did, there were so many proton packs, so many. And once I became a zombie between like all the proton packs and like, well, people like yourself, I was just like, oh, poor zombies, poor zombie. There's so many darts on the field, so many mags, so many balls. But
yeah, that's one of the downsides of half darts, is they did make it very easy to carry twice as much ammo as we used to carry.
Yep. Sure.
Proton packs tend to run out of ammo real quick, though. So
yeah, they kind of balance themselves out.
Yeah, they also tend to be very narrow-sighted. They tend to believe that they are immortal and no one can touch them, and then some zombie comes up and tags them from behind.
Yeah,
happens a lot.
So, which reminds me, now looking at the 2 of them, I think Anthony there is competing with you, because I am kind of in the middle, but not in the middle. So out on the West Coast, we have Captain Xavier with his Wicked Shop and then his playfield in the back. And what do we have Anthony now suddenly with his garage workshop over there, rivaling what Cap's got. And he doesn't have the field in the background yet. He also, this past weekend, had a bunch of guys out playing in his backyard. I am seeing like parallel timelines here, and I can't help but feel inferior. I feel like I'm behind.
Imitation is the finest form of flattery. I'm trying to get my beard long enough.
You do know the rest of that quote, right? Everyone always skips the second half of that quote.
She's the good part.
What is the second half?
The second half of the quote is flattery, or imitation is the most sincere form of flattery that mediocrity can offer to greatness.
No, it's just the good. The first part's the good part.
Exactly. It's an Oscar Wilde quote.
So yeah, Anthony, you had an event this weekend. What'd you do this weekend? If those that didn't know,
Yeah.
Anthony had a bunch of guys over. He
I
live
recall getting
streamed
invited.
and he
How
did
dare
the
you.
thing.
I would love to have you guys sometime. I had a very little event. There's only 5 of us, so like one person would kind of take turns in between, some 2-on-2. But that was fine. I just wanted to, so I set things up in the backyard. It actually was a great amount of space. I think I could probably do 5-on-5, and it would be fine back there. It was interesting though because I met one of my neighbors for the first time, and I was wearing like a chest rig with a Viper in it and a bunch of mags. And this guy comes over who I'm pretty sure is like a doctor. And he came over, he's like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, new neighbor." I'm like, "Hello, how are you?" He probably was like, "What are those darn kids doing over there?" He's like, "Oh, those are very haggard looking children." But we had a great time. And you know what was really cool? A couple things were really cool about it. It was fun. Like we didn't put many limitations on. Like it was all adults and all people who play and are familiar with blasters. So we didn't really have any caps. Most things are around 150, between 150 and 200. And we did some rounds like that. And then we did a couple rounds where everyone took a rough cut, and it was a great reminder for all of us that we enjoyed that just as much as all of the other rounds. Because you're like there was one guy who it actually happened to be his birthday. I didn't know that he came, and I was like, "You get a free birthday party out of me? That's my bread and butter." But it was his birthday. Jeremy, he's on Instagram as Demon Hunter. I'm sure he's commented on things that both of you have done. He's a nice guy. But we were laughing because he was doing matrix moves around the rough cut darts, just being he was like a Neo out there. And that's the fun of the lower speed stuff. Like I really enjoyed it. We did an Awfuls round where I used a fuse fire. And a couple of the guys had never actually played against anyone using Vortex. And they're like, "Oh, that's kind of fun." I'm like, it's super fun because it's just it gets more distance than they expected, and it's very unpredictable. I was like, if I had my Boom Nitron, if I'd had that stacked up with mags, I actually probably would have done really well playing, just because it, coats
We had somebody running Vortex at the event this weekend. They had a Boom Nitro loaded with drums.
Yeah, it's super fun.
For days.
I know you guys have bad luck.
Since it was indoors, he was actually able to take advantage of the Vortex ricochets count.
That's awesome. Yeah,
we could bounce things around corners and off of cover and bank things in at angles, and
I love Vortex for that. I know you guys have had bad luck with showing things on stream, but this has no real silhouettes, so hopefully it's okay. I use
this toy. Look at that toy. That is a great toy.
We're gonna get shut down.
Toy.
It's all over.
Blue, white, and red. Go ahead. It's a toy.
This thing fires. It's a guy named his Instagram is Sandshark Labs, and this is a flywheel shotgun. It fires either up to 6 full length or 12 short darts. And I brought it out. I was like, I'm going to use it because it's just a great chance to use it. I don't know how competitive it'll be. If I managed to, I would get Matt to cover me. If I could kind of because the FPS when you're firing up to 12 obviously goes down pretty low, probably around 70 FPS for everything, if you're firing a big cluster. But I got so many tags with this shotgun because it has such a great spread. We had some good laughs at some of the tags just from this wild thing. It's pretty fun.
That does look crazy. Oh my.
Pretty fun. He actually does kind of a cool thing too, where he puts a lot of fuses in all of his stuff, which is probably something I feel like I should start doing more because I had a bit of a jam.
We could all have fuses in our stuff.
Yeah.
If I had a fuse in this thing this weekend, I wouldn't have burned out that motor.
Well, that's just it. Part of me is I have a bunch of fuses because I did one of his other builds, and I was like, well, I'm gonna build it just like he recommends. And I actually blew a fuse in this one because, I mean, this has printed flywheels, and sometimes you're firing up to 12 darts. The chances are sometimes you might get a jam. So I think fuses are wise. Not that I've had many, but I did blow one fuse. I'm like, well, I'm awful glad that was a 10-cent fuse and not a Kraken motor. So.
Wow.
But yeah, but no, the event was fun. I'm looking forward to next summer. I'll probably I wouldn't do stuff where I'm inviting like people I don't know. Like I wouldn't have it be a free for all in my backyard, but to have a good decent sized group of people that I know, it's nice to have a free venue, as we all know. So that was fun, a lot of fun. Matt and I were getting some double XL.
We gotta find the cheapest weekend.
What's that, Al?
I said we got to find the cheapest weekend. We're going to fly both of us out there to your house and crash your place for the weekend.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that sometime. We'll plan ahead someday and have it lined up that people here. So Joe, a couple of friends from Dartmouth, which is about 4 hours away, they came up just to basically just to have a little Nerf hangout. We played, we did a stream. So I think they're going to do that again sometime soon too. It's just as we know, it's nice when you can hang out with people who don't think you're crazy when these are your backgrounds.
That is very true,
cool
man.
Now, which I remember when nerd wasn't cool.
Just checking out the old.
We're
chat.
all old enough for that, yeah, man. No kidding. No kidding. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, by the way, Anthony, man. So let the people know. You see my shirt. You know what this is, right?
Yes. Maryland
and
Mayhem.
You want to tell the people? Are you coming?
Yeah. Oh, I will be at Maryland Mayhem. We're actually. I said the royal we. We have a bunch of people coming from here and Nova Scotia. I say a bunch, but about like 6 or 7 people coming from here.
That's
now.
A bunch, man. That's half the province.
Yeah, so that's right. So it's going to be really hard for the economy while we're gone. Just be nobody to go to the restaurants or bars.
That's right.
Nobody paying our high taxes. Yeah. So there's a group of 4 from Nova Scotia and possibly 3 coming from here. I think that was the latest count. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Like I really encourage people, if you. Especially for people who, have done a lot of building and they just, they're really loving it. I'm like, it is worth making getting to an event a priority. Understandably, we can't go to too many being this far away, but if you're going to go to one, Maryland is good bang for your buck. So, and I'm excited about the HVZ being on the Sunday. I feel like that maybe you'll have, I don't know. Maybe well, we'll see. Well, maybe we'll be like, this is a huge mistake because we're all exhausted. But I think it'll make the vendor fair a bit more relaxing, maybe, or I don't know. I'm interested to see how it'll go. So no, I'm looking forward to Maryland Mayhem. If you've ever thought of going to an event, you should come to this one.
Mayhem
you're going to drive down, right?
Nowadays. What?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're going to fly.
I will be driving.
Yeah, I'll fly.
Yeah, I will. Matt and I will likely drive. It is on Mother's Day weekend, so he might have to investigate his street cred on being able to get away from that. But tentatively, but I mean, if worst comes to worst, I would still drive. I would probably break it up like I did last year. I would not stay in Boston though, because that cost almost as much as all of my hotels in Maryland to stay one night in Boston. So lesson learned. But yeah, well worth it.
But here's a good thing. I'm going to use this as ammo. So then, first Cap, how long is the flight from you to me?
4 or 5 hours, something like that.
5 to 6. Yeah, 5 to 6. Anthony, how long is the drive down from you to me? I say me because Maryland Mayhem is about an hour from my house.
It takes about 19 hours.
All right. So then, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, and we can repost this after, we have one that's flying 6 hours, one that's driving 19 hours. If your commute is any less than A or B, do us a favor. Shut up. That's all. Just saying. If you can't
Or
make it,
show
great.
up.
Yeah. And never mind. Old dude, flying, driving. Guess what we don't want to do? Travel a lot. We just want to show up and be places. Yet 6
My hip
hours
gets
flying,
sore.
19 hours driving. What are the rest of your excuses? There is none. And that tells you everything about the event when A and B are doing that to come to this.
It tells you what a good time
The
it is.
beauty of this rant is Al is going to complain about it being an hour from his house.
That's why I get a hotel.
I am pretty sure I have also heard Al complain about the distance as well. If he forgets and slips.
I do, just because it'd be great. For me, it's not the travel because you guys are traveling more. So it'd be great because then it's easier than run back people here to see my shop and everything else. But that corridor, it's only an hour, very early in the morning or early at night. Every day, everything in between that can shoot up to 2 or 3 hours and just kills your day. So yeah, it's not. You're right. I bitched about it, but it's more from that aspect because then also instead of expensive hotel rooms. Yeah, everyone could just crash at my place and then we go. But man, the commute is like, thanks, Al, for crashing your house. Now we're stuck in traffic for 3 hours, and I've missed the first 3 games of our tournament.
Right. You gotta go. Even if you live there, you need a hotel. You need to treat it like a trip away. That's the best way to do it. I feel like you would agree at this point.
Oh, especially when you can get you and 50 of your closest friends and descend on a Turtle Jacks and take over the patio.
That's right. If there's one mission I have this year, it's to prearrange some things. So it was touch and go to try to find places because everyone wants to hang out and chat. So we'll figure that out in advance. I'm just looking at the chat. I'm just looking at the chat here. We got Sierra Nerf. I think he's driving. I think he said 15 or 16.
16 hours. That's right.
James, 13 hours straight last year because Not Enough is crazy. So I think Not Enough actually lives the same distance away as me, but he just takes a few hours less because I drive like the speed limit, and I go to the bathroom a lot. I like to get a snack. I get my U.S. only treats, so it takes me a little bit more. So
that's true. And the border. Dealing with the border is always hit and miss.
The border is a big one. Going through with my trunk full of pretend weapons is always just a nightmare. So I'm always so happy to get across the border. But anyway, it'll be fun. It's worth it. So.
Oh, it is. And so again, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't know, you probably do know, the 3 of us are part of a competitive team. We are Team Mega Double XL. Anthony is the captain of the team. I am the assistant, and Chelo is the coach, fill-in, and the grumpy man that yells and just can't wait till we're done. But he is all those things. And so we are going to be getting. What does he got? Look at that! Oh, the captain thing. There it is.
I feel like to share the history of our competitive team, it's basically
yes.
Well, that's something I'd like to try, but I would never be good enough for a team. What if I took it? And I don't want people to complain when I make us lose. What if we created a team out of shape old people who wouldn't be mad at losing? And we did it. And we did just fine, I might add.
The part that annoys me to no end, deeply, deeply offends, is we have yet to come in last.
Woo!
There's always a chance.
We always win at least one round, and then we end up not last. Like, what happened here? What's going on? Which one of you is actually trying? I have words.
Yeah. A good experience.
It's our 2 ringers. So. It's Matt and Trey, man. The 2 of them make us dangerous.
I blame them.
Yep. Well, I'm trying to convince a couple of the guys who were in Nova Scotia that they really should put in a team, and they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, you have nothing to be nervous about. You just go out there, and worst case, you come in last. You'll probably, and they would probably do fine. So we've set the bar pretty low. I think anyone can do it.
And
If we
yet,
can do it, anyone can do it. So
yeah.
I'll actually admit it was actually it was really nice when we did it the first year, because I did have a little bit of, well, here we are. We've never done this. We're not the most serious about. I mean, we try. Like, I wouldn't say we went in and we're like, oh, we won't even. We did our best, but we knew our best wouldn't be that great. And I did have a little bit of like, oh, I hope like the more serious teams that practice and drill aren't annoyed that like, oh, what are these guys doing? But everyone was really, really good. Like really, really good about just.
Yeah.
I think people are just happy to have more teams. I think the teams that are really good and drill, they're like, well, it doesn't stop us from having a good time. And worst case, maybe we have an easier match to start the day. So I think
we were absolutely the crowd favorite. That was the cool part.
People love an
the
underdog.
Crowd loved it.
Yep.
And the grumpy old men with their battle cry of "Get off my lawn,"
Oh, so that's James is saying there too. He's like, Anthony, you have to convince Foam-Mando that we do have to field a competitive team. I'm trying. I think you should. I think you'd have fun. You'd be glad you did. You'd be glad you did.
Part of also what the Mega Double XLs has become. The team we put together, everyone comes back every year, and we really bonded together as family, brothers, and friends, which is really nice. But then also our big thing is twofold. One is to promote the competitive side, which again, most of us that are in here, we have some kind of influence. So that was part of the goal. Once you put it together, it's like, all right, if we are horrible, at least it's our job to put the word out there that this exists and it's a lot of fun. But then the second fold of that is to be a competitive team. You don't all have to be 20 somethings that can run a 3-4 and jump and dive. You can be older and a little slower and maybe not as flexible and still compete at a competitive level, because a lot of it sometimes is when you don't know what you're doing, brute speed and physical ability is great. When you don't, then you got to think about what you're doing and your material. And I think that's the best part about competitive play is that there's not a specific mold you can fit. And I think it is working, which is what we're doing. So that's also what is great about it.
Oh, for sure.
I couldn't pick half of our team out of a lineup, man.
I'm surprised you haven't tattooed your own name on your hand just so you know what it is in the morning.
I see them once a year, man. How am I supposed to remember these people?
You don't even know what you had for lunch.
I'm not sure I had lunch.
See? There we go.
Hey, where'd my motor screws go?
But on that, Anthony, are we getting new jerseys again this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think because our main way to practice is just buy better swag. That's our main plan. Yeah. So I think
we may not win, but by God, we will be the best dressed.
Yeah, we're gonna leave a beautiful corpse behind. So yeah, I think we're gonna look. I'm gonna look at refreshing those and doing a home and away to give people the chance to if they want their own Mega XXL jersey. But we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out before Christmas so that we don't get into the insane rush fees we paid to look so good last year.
So to give you an idea, Chayla, and for everyone else, so our actual official ones, we might look into getting stitched ones, like proper jerseys. They'll cost a little bit more, but man, they're going to be durable and cool. But at the same time, we are definitely looking into offering options for people to buy. It might be the printed version. It depends on cost evaluation. Again, we still have to sort out what we're doing and figure it out. So you might not get the official jersey, but trust me, the one we're selling will still be very cool.
Yeah, it might just be like a twist on the color scheme, or a slightly like one of the other. Maybe it's mostly red instead of mostly blue. It'll be like, yeah, it'll fit right in there. We'll figure that out.
Well, we're both Canadian. We grew up hockey people, so of course we'll get it right.
Underdogs. Junior varsity Mega XL.
That's right. We need the junior team.
Well, actually, if so, people are asking to get their names and number on it. Most likely, well, if we can set a date for get your order in, then yeah, we can get like customized ones in. But then maybe it'll all depend on price points and where we're at, where we might have blank ones available at the tournament for people to buy right there. But when we sort this out, and that's why we're trying to get it all sorted out before to make this happen. We'll put the word out if you want to put in an order for a jersey with your name and number on it. That's our goal to try to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think we're playing it's not going to be like a big 50% markup item or anything. We'll try to make it. If you're like, oh wow, those seem expensive, it's only because custom printed stuff like that in small volume is kind of expensive-ish. So we'll do what we can. I think if people do order in advance, yeah, it's definitely no problem to put numbers and names. Like it probably I would say maybe we have like one or two, because I'm sure we don't want to none of us are rich YouTubers here. Maybe we have one or two for sale, but mostly it'd probably just be like pick it up if you ordered one. I feel like there's a few people might think it's fun to have one, which I think is really cool that people would like to do that. So that's fun. Well, there's a few people in the chat.
Blanks and just have for the name, just have Mook and the number a Mook 1, a Mook 2, a Mook 3.
Oh, we're gonna do that. Oh, I'll pay for those and sell them. I'm in.
Look at that. A few lovely people a few lovely people in the chat saying that they'd like a jersey. So yeah, we'll figure something out so people can do that in advance.
Figure something out. Similar to how whenever I do a major deployment with the auxiliary, I make a couple of dog tags that just say Ox Grunt 1, Ox Grunt 3. There is no Ox Grunt 2. And that way, if we end up picking up some random people or somebody last minute isn't able to come in, they can still have their dog tags. So
yeah, I think all I do is copy you. I was thinking with the laser machine, I bought a bunch of they're cheap. I bought a huge bag of little metal tags. So I was like, oh, I might maybe I'll make something to hand out for Maryland, maybe for people that I'm hanging out with. So just
oh, that'd be cool, man.
Old Captain Xavier from Temu over here. That's me.
It wasn't even my idea originally. I stole it from someone else.
What about challenge coins, Anthony?
What's that?
What about challenge coins?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
or at least like brain coins. Have a coin with a brain on it, so when somebody kills you, they get the brain coin.
Yeah, I mean, I love the tags that the badges that Boomstick has done for people. Like that poor guy's making so many of those. I'm like, you gotta do it. I feel like next year he really maybe he started, but I feel like that's such a major production. It's like you gotta charge a little bit for those or something. You're making so many now, but it's really really nice of it. They're really cool.
He finally is charging. I think it's $5 a piece, which again is great because the quality of the level and the customization, and he does it. Yeah, he is charging now, but I would happily pay that every time because it is very cool and is a great keepsake.
Oh yeah, well especially for the people collecting a bunch of your brains, jerks.
Yeah.
That one kid from Ohio. What do you have? 47 of them?
Oh yeah, that was wild. No, he didn't have mine though. Someone else had mine.
All right, look at the chat, Anthony. What do we got?
Someone did. Prime 8 asked if I had any plans to develop the Mega XL flywheeler designs, like to do anything more to them. And my answer to that would be maybe it's at some point I would like to do something to put in like more of a regular pusher instead of the flywheel pusher. Maybe something. I've started doing more CAD stuff. That's part of why I stopped selling on Etsy and have kind of shut everything down because like I want to learn. You're not learning if you're just building the same thing over and over and over and over again. Like I used to wonder. I'd see something on Etsy that someone was selling and be like, everyone wants that. Why did they ever stop selling it? And then like you get to your 10th strife and you're like, oh, now I know why they stopped selling it. Like it's just not. Yeah. So I don't know. I would like to at some point. My next project, I think, I have a bin of things I've never finished. So I think I'm going to invite YouTube every once a week. Maybe that's too frequent. Once every 2 weeks to choose which of my bin of shameful unfinished projects I will go into and finish those because I'd like to finish some stuff up. I have a Vulcan project with like flywheel afterburners. It's really fun. I'd like to finish it. It works. It's just all the switches are hanging out. I have for Maryland, I'd like to do a double. I have like 8 mastodons because I refuse to get rid of them. I don't know why I'm broken inside. I want to cut them down and make some braces and padding, and I want to make them dual wieldable so I can run around with my 2 mastodons. I'll need like fold down tripods on the end of them so I can rest my arms. But I'm gonna have like big beefy arms for Maryland with my double mastodons. So I don't know. I just want to do silly stuff. So the answer to that is like it'll probably be a while.
A number of ways you could make that more functional. You'd need a support system of straps that go up over your shoulder and take the weight off your arms.
For sure. Like I think you'd need some metal rods and some braces and everything. But I think it's doable, just making it something that you can slip on and off quick enough. But I think that would look really fun and be cool. Yeah. And it would make me feel less insane about having so many mastodons. But I'll find one for like $3 and I'm like, how do I leave this beautiful thing? I have to start though. Leaving them behind.
Leave them behind.
I can think of I know how I would do it. I would get a couple of cheap joysticks and mount them on the top and have the mastodons hanging below with straps on your arms.
Oh.
And then a rig that goes up and over the shoulders to help distribute the weight. You'd need to wire it with MOSFETs, but that wouldn't be terribly difficult.
Yep.
And, you could have a lot of fun with that.
That would be fun. Since I have so many, maybe I can have them that they face forward and backwards. That would be fun.
Yeah, there you go. Or you strap 2 mastodons, one upside down, one forward with a handle in the middle, and then you have got 2 on each arm, and you've got quad mastodons.
Oh, I might just dress as a big mastodon.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you're gonna need a mask. You're gonna need a full face mask. All you got to do is get a black Power Ranger mask, and you're done.
Yep, that's what I might do. But that's the fun. That's the fun stuff. That's what I want to do. Fun, silly things.
All right, I'm coming back. Sorry, I had to go pull something off my printer as I knocked.
Oh, he was gone.
I was gone. I know. Nobody cares.
I care.
Oh no, he didn't stay gone. He came back. What's up with that? So at the beginning of this, I talked about something that Xbox Games has made, and I just printed off. So again, we have here toy Dart Zone, the Omnia. So then with the Omnia, I always wish that you could put like a barrel on the end of it, just because it's such a hollow space, especially since I do so many cosplay things. So enter in Xbox Games. So there we go. Here's the insert, and what I love about it, the pieces you can print. You can actually screw them in. So this one, come on. All right. Oh, good. It lined up right off the bat. It screws in further, and there's an attachment you get for it. Anyways, it drops right in. And again, right there, you have the barrel attachment. It is snug, and it lines up perfectly. And then this is why I wanted it. It's to do stupid things like this.
Yep.
And again, it's still functional blaster. Now works the way I've done it on a couple of them. I had to improvise. So this is great. Again, Xbox Games, you can go find it. I had asked him, he made it, and it is... it brings me joy. Never mind other attachments. So yeah, I just had to share. Sorry. Carry on.
No, share away. I noticed I noticed that Primate also said he's been begging for a Boomdozer Afterburner. That's something I do have some half-done designs for that. I was playing around with using an Arduino to detect decimal volume because I wanted something that the Afterburner would only would spin up if the noise, I don't know, I wanted some other way other than like an extra button to trigger it. So I'm working on something for that. We'll see. It may never get done. It'll go in my bin of shame. But
no, you'll solve the bin of shame. YouTube will come and yell at you, and you'll make it happen.
Oh, there's the bin of shame right down there in the corner. There it is.
Depending on spin-up time, you could mount a switch that gets pushed when you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And if you had an Arduino in there, you could set it to, if detect button pressed, make motor spin for only long enough to fire the dart and then shut itself back down.
Yeah.
That would be like 5 lines of code.
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be pretty fun. I was also It's I want to get into more goofy stuff with Arduinos and stuff too. It's funny. I had a conversation with Paper Skeletons 3D, Adam, and I just mentioned offhand that a friend and I were talking about like, oh, it'd be cool to do like some sort of like for Nerf like a motion detector where you have a receiver that you mount on your blaster. You can take 2 little pods like GoldenEye. You throw them behind something, and if there's a motion by them, they light up on your blaster. And I mentioned, like, yeah, we were thinking about playing around with that. And then he sends me a video of a working prototype of these motion detectors that mount to your blaster. And I'm like, well, I can't wait to try that out. I mean, obviously not every club you went to would like something like that, but I would get a great kick out of using something like that.
Somewhere up in my storage area of shame, there is a motion detector box that somebody made for me. They just gotten into 3D printing, and they worked at Biomed in the hospital, so they were a tinkerer. And I had developed a bunch of remote fireable Vulcans that I just had a remote button. You push the button, the Vulcan would fire as long as you had the button held. If you just pushed it and let go, it would fire for about 3 rounds because of how long it took it to switch on and switch back off again. And he made me something that I could plug these into, and they would fire. It had a motion sensor built into it.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he had wired the wrong pins, so when you plugged it in, it was just always on because I just needed to unsolder 1 pin and move it, and I never got around to doing that.
I understand.
So,
That's what
I still have the Vulcans that can be jacked into. I still have the motion sensor jack, and someday I will set it up and put it somewhere in my arena so that anyone that passes through this area just gets pelted by Vulcans.
Dude, I was gonna say, especially have it on the button because it is arena, especially for chaos. So Cap's got a ladder. He's up high enough so he can see what's going on. Never mind having the ability just to randomly turn on Vulcans or let's say Rage Fires or something where it's like, you know what? This is boring. Everyone's collecting in this one corner. Not anymore.
It's gonna be a tripod-mounted proton pack blaster of some kind.
Yes.
Vulcan, Schmalkin. I'm gonna hit you with a press. Burn!
The ubiquitous Maverick fed proton pack. That's right. That'll be it.
And there you go. I'll just be a Maverick that's just looking at you. It's got googly eyes and just. Dude,
that'd be great in the arena.
It would be.
Oh, that would be great. Never mind if actually, because so in Cap's arena, he's got the down the one side. It's called the gauntlet. So it's the one stretch where you can make a direct run from one end of the field to the other. However, there are openings where you can get picked off, but at the same time, it allows people to circle back. Now, imagine setting up a remote blaster there and either have it randomly timed so you can't even guess when, but if you start running, it may go off and like just hose the whole area with darts or not. At the same time, you could have a button where you push it. I think that'd be a great like X factor to really make the gauntlet even more interesting than it is.
It'd be fun if the blaster just pans all the way in 180 and has a motion detector, so you can run up to it, but you have to stop and hold real still until it moves away.
That would be awesome.
Red light, fun. Green light.
Red light, green light, but with a machine gun. We're going full Squid Games now.
I know.
That's awesome. Speaking of Squid Games, Anthony, next year you're coming with us back to the Pacific Northwest whenever it is we do, which will most likely be in fall.
For sure. I was sad to miss it, but literally I changed jobs and my house closed on the same day I changed jobs, and that was October 18th. So it would have been. I think I would have had to move or would have had to like go with you while movers were coming. And I don't know that would have been a good start in the chapter of the house.
Would have been probably not yet, no.
So yeah.
Life always comes before the game.
It does. So
I tell people that all the time when they get bogged down. You're like, dude, if you need to step away, you need to step away.
Yeah. Next year, I am hoping to. I want to go to Maryland. Obviously, it's tough because you want to go to the things you've gone to before. But I will admit, like it's been, I've gone to Maryland. It'll be the 3rd time I'll have gone to Maryland. I guess I went to End War once. I went to PA Survival Fest twice, or just Survival Fest now, and I want to go to that again. But like, part of me is like, I hanker for like a new. I'd like to go to a new thing as well.
Same.
It's hard to fit it all in.
There's the ones that this event is going to be good, so I want to go to it. But then there's ones where you're like, well, I want to go to another event to support it so that it can become good.
For sure, yeah, and just to go somewhere different, maybe run into some different people and stuff too. But there's also only so much. I mean, I've told Al what it costs to fly from here is just awful, so it just makes it difficult. I lucked out when I came to Seattle with you guys. I really lucked out because my flights were not that expensive. Usually they are, because Al at one point Al was like, well, what would it be to just like come down and visit for a weekend? I think when I checked, it was like, well, it'd be about $1,900 Canadian. So, which is, $37 American. That's a lot of money.
It is crazy. Like I could fly to, I think at that time, a flight to Australia would have been less. Come on, man.
I can. Well, I mean, it's the same with traveling around the U.S. depending on where you go. If you fly into a major city, it's not bad. If you have to get to a small city, it gets ridiculous. Like flying into Penn State, because it does have an airport, but it's a little local airport. I can fly into Pittsburgh for pennies, but flying into Penn State, it adds like $1,000 to it. I can fly to Amsterdam nonstop from SeaTac for cheaper than to get to Penn State.
Right.
So it's cheaper to fly in somewhere big, rent a car, and drive.
Yeah. Unless you're flying to Toronto.
No,
Toronto is notoriously the worst city for like charging absorbent fees to airlines. It's from here to Toronto, and because I'm from Toronto originally, hour and 30 minutes on paper, 55 minutes in the air. If you get it for just under $500, you're lucky American. Meanwhile, I fly to your place for the same amount of money, and that's a 6-hour flight.
It's less about distance and more about stops. It's weird. But you can also get cheaper flights if there are multiple stops. I don't make the rules. It's weird.
It is. Let's turn this into an airline economics podcast. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's get into this.
I'm gonna go. Where's my moose box? I want my moose box.
This is why. So, ladies and gentlemen at home, if you have extra money lying around, please send it into theworldfoamalliance.com. # buy Anthony a private jet. So again, any extra money you have lying around, send it, and that will actually make us be able to travel a lot around, and you'll see us all in the same place instead of in 3 separate places. So again, # send Anthony money to buy his private. Oh, he's got a box.
Ooh.
Anthony, we got to get you. You got to get some of these things, man.
Yeah, I have been thinking, because I'm such a flywheely McGee type person, but I have been thinking I would like to have one of those moose blasters. It might be something that maybe I kind of plan that whatever it is, when I'm in Maryland, I pick it up. Like if I decide to get, like, I know that's a ways away, but honestly, the shipping costs for me to get stuff here and the duty, like it's brutal. I did say duty. We actually have a big Canada Post. We have a big mail strike here now too. So I have a blaster. I have a unicorn, a tactical unicorn, from out of Darts that's on its way for review. And it's just, I've been checking and it's just been sitting, because at some points things are handed off to Canada Post. So I'm afraid of how long it'll take me to get it. Makes me sad.
Oh, you're kidding. Where did it ping its last location?
Last location was Toronto, like in Toronto, and it hasn't moved. Now that doesn't mean anything. I've also received packages that said, like, once they get to Canada for USPS, like it gets pretty dicey on tracking. So hopefully it'll just show up in my mailbox here soon. I was hoping it would be here in time for the weekend, because it would have been great to have gotten some gameplay footage with it and tried it out in an actual battle, but alas, that did not happen.
There are some monolithic parts in here.
That is a big
yes,
part.
there are.
It's
I'm looking,
huge.
I'm looking at mine off screen, and again, mine is the largest iteration that he does. Although the Moose 1 is longer because of the metal barrel, but the Moose 2 has so much more plastic to it.
I thought this thing felt heavy.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh my
I'm
God,
gonna
it
have
is.
to look into
Thin
one.
plunger tube. Fascinating. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, there it is. And you got to put in all the rollers, the bearings,
Oh yeah. I am
and he agreed to it.
well aware.
But you have one of those. It's on the Moose 1.
It's smaller than this, I think. Or no, maybe they're the
No.
same. Yeah, same.
Same.
Amazing.
Oh my God, yes it is.
There are times. It's funny. The that flywheel shotgun I showed. I ordered that one in assembled because as much as I could have built it with like a hardware kit or with the files, I'm like, it just looked like such a monstrously not straightforward build that I was like,
Yes.
it was worth a bit extra to like. That's the thing. Like, I mean, it would have been so much work to have assembled and tested that blaster and everything, and having it built by the actual creator of it, I was down for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like building stuff.
there's the thing. You like building
Big
stuff.
Lego set that's gonna launch massive darts.
I like building stuff too. I do like building stuff too. It's more like there's also a real big thing of time. I have enough boxes over, well, my other shame pile. I have like some boxes under there, and I have that hollow sight kit for the Rapid Strike, some Band Blasters flywheels. I have a bunch of other kits and parts, and I have so many. It's an embarrassment of like things I have that like, and I'm always thinking about this, like the weight of it, where people would love to have that, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's under my workbench in a box. So that's why I'm going to work through my shame pile.
I love it. So then now with the new place and stuff like that. Why is that?
One of the parts is printed right-handed.
Oh.
Kind of.
Does that affect you?
Luckily, it's the smaller part that I could probably pre-print on my own printer if I had the files and the right filament. I'm just complaining to complain. Don't mind me.
I figured as much. All right. Well, he's complaining over there. Anthony, man. So now that you're settled in your new digs, so what are you planning on? And you're taking a break from your Etsy store. Are you what? I speak English really good, I swear. What are your plans, or what are you hoping to do then with your YouTube channel in terms of content? You taking a break from that too, or are you looking to focus on something, or what do you got going on, man?
If anything, I kind of think that I think that the Etsy store and all the parties, I think that kind of hurt my channel a little bit for growth. I mean, okay. I'm going to preface this by saying a lot of us talk about our channels as if we are professional careerist people. Most of us are not, and it is a hobby and it is for fun. But yes, I do have goals for my channel. I'd love to hit that 100 mark someday. So and it has it's slowed down. It still gets, to me, an unreal amount of people spend time watching this old nerd in his garage talking about toys. But like, it has slowed down, and that's probably because I'm spending more time building than I am doing videos. So I'm actually kind of hoping to ramp the channel back up a little bit, doing more shorts. And I think if I'm doing more fun mods and showing different things, I think that'll kind of help kind of re-engage things a little bit. I'd like to do some more guides. Oh, nice. I'd like to do some more guides and stuff too. I've had a lot of people asking for there's a lot of things out there too that I'd love to just kind of go back and redo guides for that aren't really that detailed because people did them so long ago. Like, I don't know, like the Boom Nitron. I've had a bunch of people message me about like, because there are kind of guides out there, like Drac has a bit of one. There's a couple of them out there, but they skip a lot of stuff because they already knew what they were doing. So I kind of like to go and like do some clean ones of like some weird old blasters that hardly hardly anyone cares about, but you know what? It's a niche hobby. You'll always get a few people who are like, "Oh, I have an old Nitron. I'd like to do that." So no, I think if anything, the channel will be better.
So basically, you're gonna take like like those guides that someone that likes black and orange did, and finally do a better version of it.
Yeah, I mean, like not better from any sort of like skill thing, but just like better from a. I feel like I think there's value in just showing everything, like the whole thing. Because when people are new, it's nothing to me now to like skip over a bunch of stuff. But when you're new, you can get lost so easily. Like you don't really even understand half of what you're doing. You're just kind of doing it because the guy told you to do it, and eventually you do learn. Like, and I think that's okay to learn like that. So yeah, and I would like to do more little videos too, like because someone here was like, well, how do you use a fuse, or how do you install a MOSFET? And like there are videos about that stuff, but they're not always, either recent or easy to find, or like someone's not always installing them in a complete blaster. So I'd like to do more stuff like that too, just to, I don't know. I want to do lots of stuff. My Mastodon stuff, I want to put more flywheels and weird shit. I really want to do, sorry. I really want to put some flywheels and like some household appliances. That's a series I want to do. Like I want to just like nerf everything. Like I want to open up an air fryer and have it fire some darts at me. So I have dreams.
Dreams are good, man. No, that's all right. So then, because I know I have to, do you think you'll actually then be able to do some more videos for the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean that's the plan too. I just got to a point where like, well, I mean, you saw I kind of went for a while where I was just posting videos where there was zero editing, just like me sitting out on my deck, musing about life, because I'm like, this is all I have time for right now. So yeah, and I'm gonna try to do a bit more. I'd like to do more of that, and just kind of.
Those are great, by the way, man. I like how you started and everything else. I thought that was a great take on much of exactly what you're doing. And that might be, I guess you might be able to tie that into your box of shame, where it's like salvaged from my own pile.
Well, true enough. Like it kind of kill two birds with one stone too, because that's the other thing. All that stuff takes so much time. Like, it would be good to like, kill those things. The thing that people don't really like, maybe they do think of it. Build guides are fun and everything too, but they're not the most fun to record because like. I like building stuff and listening to music or watching a show in the background, or like, I don't know, it's relaxing. It's not as relaxing when you're filming it.
No.
So like there are times where I'm like, I'm not recording this. I might do like a few little snippets as I go for shorts or something, but so I don't know. But like I say all this, like I'm going to make a bit of a schedule too for like have a night where maybe my goal is to film a thing. I'm largely unscheduled with my endeavors, so. I don't know.
So am I. So that ain't a bad idea. And I feel like with scheduling, you'd be more productive about it. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying anybody in general. Because same thing with my things. When people ask me to make stuff for them and they don't give me like guidelines, they get pushed. Which is why I love going through my Etsy store, and my limit is 3 weeks. And it forces me on the schedule where it's got to get done. Well, I don't need it that fast. No, we're doing this now. Otherwise, it's too easy to fall to the wayside. Just because life can get so crazy.
I had a few orders before I put shut my store down that like kind of slipped through the cracks when I was too busy, and I kept meaning to go, I got to put it on holiday mode. And like I was late getting stuff to people. I communicated with them and told them, and they were all, they were pretty good and pretty understanding. I refunded one person, which was no problem. Other people waited. One person was like, I was hoping to get this for my son's birthday, a gauntlet. And I'm like, I will send it to you and get it there express. I ended up paying $130 to ship it to him to get it there in time. And I'm like, well, this cost me money to get this, but like, it's my own fault. Like, cause I missed the deadline and I wanted to make it right and all that. So it's fine. I didn't begrudge it at all. Well, I mean, I begrudged myself, not the person.
Yes.
I was like, how stupid am I? I could have probably managed to ship this out earlier. if I'd found that 5 minutes. But when you're like stressed and busy, you can feel like you don't have 5 minutes,
Because you don't.
Yeah. So.
No,
Anyway.
I get it. Oh, shipping is fun. Like my shoulder pads, because I do the Raider ones, I send a lot to Vegas and California.
Yeah.
And people have asked me, but the downside shipping, it's $130 to $150 because it's a 30 by 18 by 16 box that weighs 10 to 16 pounds. And thank you, USPS. They introduced stupid additional fees for cube fees or something else. So it went from $80 to like 130, 150.
Oh. Yeah, shipping is brutal. And it makes it so hard when like people are, including me, people are just like getting trained and used to like shipping not even being a cost. So like,
yeah,
when you have smaller sellers, and I mean, I'm bad for it too. I definitely like, I would love to have the money that I've spent just on duty on out of darts deliveries, like just the duty. I don't need my money back from the orders. If I had the duty I've paid, I'd be like, wow, I'm gonna go on a vacation.
Oh my God! I had a guy buy a raised fire minigun for me from Germany. Got it done, packed it up, shipped it out, dropped it off. A day later, I'm in the garage and I'm looking at the table, and I'm like, "Huh? I don't think I have an extra painted chain for a raised fire. Crap." Yep. And then the guy he messaged me and says, "Hey, I didn't get this. What happened?" I said, "Dude, it's me. Don't worry, I'll pay for it." But then what's relevant to this? He's like, "Do me a favor on the customs listing. Please don't put too much on it. I don't want to have to pay duty twice because duty is ridiculous." Like, don't worry, Ragefire minigun. I put like a value, what, $5 if that. It's just plastic chain, but it's like, yeah, oops. I mean, what? We make no mistakes. It's always perfect, right? Wait a minute.
Oh
yeah. When I sent that gauntlet and paid $130, I got back here from dropping it at UPS, looked on my workbench, and a small bag of parts in order to mount it to the blaster that came with it were on my bench. I drove back into town. They hadn't shipped it yet. I was like, oh my God, please tell me you haven't shipped that out. I was ready to just drown my sorrows. That was brutal. I see Arctech. I'm so bad at reading usernames. 8 Industries saying he wasn't as lucky as Captain Xavier, who found an $8 Percy's, but he found a $10 Infinus without the drum. I'd like to not use D batteries and LiPo it, but there are no mod videos. So yeah, an Infinus is on my shame list. That's for
Mine
sure.
too.
I feel like, I mean, you could always just, in the meantime, you can always skip D batteries and just it's got that little as I start to describe what you do, it does need a video because you need to protect that little loading mechanism when you do it.
Yeah.
But there are ways to do that. So one of the people on this chat will try to put it on their pile at some point because the Infinus is a really cool blaster. I would like to mod one.
It is. It's the next one on my list to do a full teardown and rebuild of.
Oh,
which would be very helpful if you were going to be doing.
Yeah, I should wait until you do that and then I'll do my mod. so when I have it torn apart, I'm like, oh my God, what have I done?
Where does this go? Oh my God!
Put this back together. Dude, that is funny, man.
There is a trigger.
Oh,
yeah, there should be. It needs a trigger.
I wish I had it. I wish I had it together. I just printed Marcus Foam Not Blasted. He did a Halo inspired stringer that looks really, really cool. I printed the prototype one. It still needed some fixes to the just the geometry around the darts. The darts weren't clearing the cord, but he got that all fixed, and I printed a new one. I just printed the last piece. It looks so cool. I love all the wild stringers people are doing. Like, the nice thing about stringer projects is it's just so nice to not need hardware. Although Marcus's has a bunch of like M3 screws and heat set in, like it's like really well built. But there is part of me, it's like, can you just use a peg so that I don't have to get out my soldering iron and install 7 heat set insets to do this test build? So, not that that's hard, but still.
So we got so we have Charles, the containment crew's in the chat, and he just jumped in. He goes, "I have broken 2 Infinises trying to mod them before." He finally gave up.
Yeah, I should get around to that guide.
You already have 2 people that are very willing. Also, so for those that don't know, we have Charles from Containment Crew in. So again, for those of you who don't know, Foamsgiving has been pushed. We're not doing one this year just because we could not get ourselves organized. We had an overwhelming response of people that would volunteer for the stream, but the problem is the core that we do to actually put it up and running, we just could not make it happen because life got in the way. However, we will be supporting and pushing Corbett's Charity Drive. That's the one that Containment Crew runs. That will be starting up soon. We're actually meeting, I think, tomorrow about it. We may attach some live streaming to it. Either way, the World Foam Alliance and us will be supporting that. We're putting up stuff. For example, if you can see them behind me, I don't know if you can. They're the yellow painted seagulls that both will be going up for the charity auction. One might be a silent auction. The other one might be a raffle. We haven't decided yet. But then there's also other stuff we've collected that we will be donating to that cause for the giveaway. So we'll be putting we really wanted to make Foamsgiving happen. We just couldn't do it successfully and properly. But that being said, we still want to do something. So we're going to be helping Charles and Containment Crew and all the fine people there that they do. So that will be happening. And again, there will be more information will be posted. We'll be posting stuff about it. And Charles will correct anything that comes out of my mouth now in chat because let's face it, I forget stuff. But you get the gist of it.
I volunteered a gauntlet for the charity drive as well, so I gotta pack that up at some point. I'm a little bit worried about hopefully the strike ends eventually so I can ship it somewhere, but I have some time.
There you go. See, there we go. Captain Xavier will be auctioning off. I can't think of something funny right now. Insert something silly right now. There it is. Yeah, handwritten note
or a rush or a crush. I don't know which one. The straight mag one is the one they requested. So that's
I'll
the
be
one
supplying my yearly calendar that I make of myself. So line up for that now.
I love it. I still might give my jersey in.
There you go.
I still might do it.
Man. So I have this part that I reprinted because I was printing it and like this is the most logical way to print it. But for whatever reason, I think because my garage is cold, I need to do some insulating around my printers now that it's out here. But I could not get a smooth print in here. So I printed it like this. So so it just has it's not the best print, but at least it's clean up here so I can actually test and make sure it's okay. It's tricky when you're making stuff like this with complicated designs because I can see I have certainly cursed Lidl before in the past for there being so many pieces, but for those really complicated shapes though, I can see why you break it up so much because it's just hard to get a good print orientation. If you have a bunch of stuff here hanging in the air and it's printing that way, there's just a lot of areas for it to go wrong, even with bamboos, which are great.
That's true. So what is that part that you printed?
So I'll see here. I will slide this together really roughly here. So this is his stringer. That's the Halo sidearm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it kind of goes like this. And then you basically just pull out this slide and back in. So it covers the cord with this shroud.
How cool is that?
It takes angled talons. What
kind of?
Sorry.
No. What are the fips we're getting on that?
I mean, stringers are all I usually tie them at a point where they're in the 90s. You can get up to I have some Lidl ones that do 110. That's getting to be your cap because you'll just like the darts will just fold over their own, like they're not sturdy enough. They'll like fold over they'll just mess up and won't. But you can get like 100 or so for sure. They're really to me like stringers are. I don't know, like even with like the most dependable stringers, and I think Lidl has the most dependable, like go through mag after mag and actually have all of them fire because like stringers are a lot more susceptible to like a worn dart. But even his most dependable one, I would hesitate to run in an HVZ because I like for all I love fun and goofy, but I'm driving a long way. I want dependable. Like I don't mind dying, but I don't want to die. I don't want to die from a jam. I want to die from my own incompetence, not my incompetence on the blaster I put together. If that makes sense.
Fair. That does make sense. I can't wait to find out, unless someone's figured out what this is, what the theme for Mayhem will be.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be spacey or something. Someone said that they thought it might be spacey, which I wouldn't mind.
Gotta be great, like Nebula Galaxy type of things here. So
yeah,
maybe it's a multiverse. Who knows, man?
Oh, multiverse would be fun. We could all go as variants.
I think it'd be great if, again, depending on what it is, we all have one piece that kind of. Well, last year was easy, cowboy theme, and we all had cowboy hard hats. Thank you, Captain Xavier, for that. But that was very cool and fun as a result of it.
It was fun. I enjoyed the cowboy theme.
I know. So we got to see if there's something else.
Oh, dart sweep.
Oh, has he joined? There he is.
Yep.
He must have got off work or something.
Yep. So when I have my battle in the backyard, before we started, because there's a lot of deer here, we did and I have a dog. We did a poop sweep. So I got everyone to yell poop sweep, so we could send him a little video. Well, you saw it as well, but for the people in the chat. So not only did my neighbors watch me out there playing with my friends on a Saturday afternoon, they heard us all yelling poop sweep. So, I might be the least favorite neighbor. That's
my ass. They know you're fun without just getting hammered and doing stupid things on your backyard. So
I wouldn't rule that out either, Al. It's not one or the other here.
You Canadian.
I don't just feel that they're mutually exclusive.
It gets less likely every year, but not impossible.
That's right.
I keep looking around for things. Oh, you know what I wanted to get out on the weekend, and I was so excited about it. And sometimes you just have almost too many ideas for something. You get excited, and then when you're actually like doing the event, you just forget things. I bought this purely so I could surprise people by I have like a really bad Spider-Man mask, and I was gonna use this Real Webs blaster to Spider-Man people in one of the matches. This is like a fifth random element, and just yell, "I'm Spider-Man," and I forgot. I'm like, how do you forget to be Spider-Man? So now I have this Real Web shooter that I'll still check out at some point, but I mean,
it's good to have fun, silly things, man. That's what makes it fun.
I like an arm-mounted thing. What can I say?
Yeah. I have lacrosse gloves, and I have the piece to mount to it. I still got to stick. See, yeah, that's I get your point. Keeping up on Etsy orders, it does make it difficult for R&D, even though I change up things as I go. But it's not like before where I make money stuff. And I look at some things and it's like, holy cow, I can't believe I made 37 of those. But I think also because I offer in different colors, which kind of keeps it interesting. But I can see that. Now, with that said, yeah, I still want to get into making some arm-mounted stupidness.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'll probably sell some. Like, I think what I'll probably start to do is, if I make something, play with it, and I'm done with it, I'll sell what I did as is. But I think I'm just done with custom orders. It's just too much work. Too much work.
It is. Like a lot of my stuff, well, you see when I list it, it's like, all right, I'm doing this. This is what it looks like, and these are your colors. Pick your colors. Commissions,
Yeah.
it depends. If it's something I find interesting and pushes my limits, great. If it's something where I know there is no, this is not going to bring me joy. No.
Yeah, it's I mean, I really enjoyed doing it. Like, and I appreciated every single order. Like, I wouldn't want to be like, I wouldn't want to feel like, I don't want anyone to think that I'd be too negative about it, because like it's expensive too, because it's like the time is it. So it wasn't like, I was always very appreciative. I'm like, oh wow, like someone trusted enough to make this order. That's great. It's just for me personally, I just want the time back. So I think most people get that though.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen, we're about getting to that time. Do any of
right.
you have any last minute announcements or things you want to share before I wrap this up?
Nothing here. Nothing for me. I blabbed enough as it was. I have nothing else.
Anybody know where this goes?
On the end.
Yes, in the blaster. Wait, what's it look like? Let me see it again.
There's going to be a lot of that in this. Where on earth does this go?
Over there on the thingy with the thingy. All right.
Which way,
ladies and gentlemen,
forward?
You could be filming an assembly video right now. Look at you.
I know. I don't know if he's taping this or not. He probably isn't.
Not currently. This is all still just fiddling about.
Yeah,
I think there's a part missing.
Recording those first time assemblies are probably that's too much editing.
Where does this go?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up another evening of Get Off My Lawn. Thanks to everybody that was able to come out. Anthony, man, thanks again for coming out, dude. As always, we love having you on here. Even though you are part of the World Foam Alliance, it doesn't matter. We can have whoever we want on this, and you can come on here anytime because we are the Bearded MacGuffins.
Not only am I a guest, I'm a member.
That's right. Oh, is that the mag?
Yeah. Big old mag.
Oh, yeah, because you got the full-sized one.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine shoots half darts. Oh, it's going to be fun.
Would.
Anyways, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, so again, we do have, and I'm glad Andrew, a.k.a. Dart Sweep, is in the chat. He is on next Wednesday, I do believe, even though it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So he will be on next Wednesday, and I think he's going to have Griever on with him, which will be very cool. And then it's Thanksgiving, and we're going to do one more in December where we're just going to wrap up the year, and then we will be taking a Christmas break. Why? Because it's Christmas. However, we will be participating in terms of the Corbin Drive, the Go Slow Taco, which it does. Containment Crew just kind of sponsors and helps them. We'll be assisting with that as well, and we'll put out information on that as soon as we have it. Other than that, we will be doing when the new year begins, we'll have some announcements. There's many things that we're hoping to accomplish and lay out what we're planning for the year. So that'll be coming in January, and it will start off with myself and Captain Xavier on Get Off My Lawn, where we'll do the announcement and hopefully have somebody cool on with it. But there's plenty of time between now and then. Other than that, if you're local or if you can travel to Maryland and you either are going to be in the area for your family or you don't like your family and you had enough of them, Saturday during the Thanksgiving long weekend, will be Nerf's Giving, which is an event held by Southern Maryland House of Nerf at the Charles County Fairground. Just go to marylandfoamalliance.org to find it. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the like button, subscribe and like. Like I said, we don't make any money. If we can grow this YouTube channel, we can actually make some money, which means we can do more things. Share it with your friends, share with other people, hit the like button, steal your friends' phones, and hit the subscribe button. They'll appreciate you later. Anyways, also, there we go. Charles from the Containment Crew, information will be released in the next week or so. So, yeah, we will put that out. That'll be awesome as always. And again, two of the things I'm giving away, seagulls. They're going to be yellow. Those are mine, and I'm going to sign both of them. Never mind that I am now going to be painting and selling seagulls as a result of this. But these two are going for that charity run. With that said, worldfoamalliance.org. Yeah, we know we're working on it. It's going to get better. But in the meantime, go ahead and register. Do it now. Register so people can find you. Thanks again to Captain Xavier out in the West Coast. Thank you to Maritime Foam out in the East Coast. And that kind of puts me in the middle-ish.
Between them. Look at us.
There it is. Woo! World Foam Alliance, man. We cover the world. Bringing it all together. Anyways, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. And get off my lawn.
Bye, everybody.
Lawn.